So can we have a show of hands like who have heard about Starshot? Okay, great. And is there anyone who has contributed to it? Okay, great. So that's good to know. And we have a sizable audience today as well. We have heard about Starshot at least.
Yes, that's good.
So I am Hemant Gupta, working as a technical architect at Qt42, and I have been leading the efforts for contributing to Starshot initiatives from Qt42 side. And here we are.
Hello, myself Abhishek. Need to get used to it. Myself Abhishek. I'm currently working with Drupal as a Drupal and Mautic engineer. If you want to know more about Mautic, come back to me after session. And yeah, I am actively contributing to Starshot. Drupal is some of the part sponsors for it, and yeah, it's fun. And I want to share that experience.
Great, thank you, Abhishek. So before we jump into Starshot, like what is Starshot exactly? Any guesses? Anyone wants to say anything? Okay. So basically, like Starshot is a new product, basically, which aims to basically make Drupal a low code, no code solution. So right now, Drupal is considered as lots of things, like good for scalability, good for building big sites, but it is not considered a low code, no code solutions. Marketers are afraid of that, and Starshot tries to basically solve that problem. It is built on top of Drupal core, and Starshot initiative is all about launching the Drupal CMS product. So basically the product which will be launched is called as Drupal CMS, and Starshot is the initiative where all the work is happening. So we have divided the leadership team. We can see the leadership team structure here. It is being led by Dries. He will be taking the key, this decision team will be taking the key decisions on directions of where Starshot will be heading. Next, we also have advisory council, which will be working with the Dries and the team to basically take the inputs from community and describe the priorities for the Starshot project. And the aim of Starshot is to basically divide its work into various initiatives, and these initiatives will be focused around making Drupal easy to try, configure, set up, and maintain. So let's talk about first experience. Like when you go to Drupal.org, if you want to try Drupal right now, what you will have to do is you have to download the Drupal, you will have to set it up on your local, and it's a very cumbersome user interface, which is not easier to use for any end audience. So that's where trial experience comes in, and we will see a quick demo, like what is happening in there.
Technical difficulty.
Yeah, so we will just start the demo now. Okay. So yeah, let's have a look at the demo.
So here I am on a new landing page for the Drupal.org. This is right now accessible at new.drupal.org page. This is a completely new design, and here we get the useful link for learning about more about Drupal CMS, where we get to another landing page. One of the cool things here is like there is a try Drupal button now. So when we click this button, it takes us to a different site. Now this website is running in our browser itself, but it's not a site. It's actually the Drupal CMS trial experience. This trial experience is being built by WSM. Now let's click on, I have clicked on the new button to basically set up a new instance. Now what WSM does is it is basically downloading the package for it running the Drupal site, and it is basically WSM is a binary which is running in my browser to run the Drupal site. So right now the package is being downloaded. After that, it is being extracted, as you can see in the screen. Once the extraction happens, it will start redirecting you to the installation screen of the site. Now we are at the new installation screen. Here you get the options to select few features from the start. So these are recipes which we will talk about later. For now, I won't select anything and hit next. After that, I will get the option to basically select my site name and various other things which you will see now. So I can select the name, I will just keep it as it is and hit next. And then it will ask me to select a database. I will select SQLite database. So once I click here, it will start setting up the SQLite database for me. And I need to select SQLite database here because this is running in my browser. So SQLite is a text-file-based database, so it can run in browser. It can't connect with MySQL for now. And it will then start installing the site. Now we are seeing the progress bar for site installation, and when this is completed, we will redirect it to the home page of the site. So after installation is complete, I am at the home page of my Drupal site, and this is how it looks like. I have the sidebar menu for navigation module. I can click on the content to see the list of existing content which is not running the site. I can add a new content, so let's try that. So let's create a basic page. Let's page. Page. And we will get published. Let's save. And we have discussed page created. I can go to the report section and status report to see which version of Drupal is being served by this site, and I can see this is 10.4.0.
And we will also notice here the web server is mentioning the current browser version. So it basically showcases like everything is working in the browser and running in the browser. So user does not have to set up anything.
So here I am on
So we just observe like how this new trial experience will easily make it very easy for the end user to come to the Drupal site and try out the Drupal in their browser itself. They do not have to set up any dependencies or anything else. They can just start using Drupal from here, from the get-go. This is very in the experimental phase right now. This is running. You can also try out a demo by going to the link which is mentioned in the slides. And after this, once the trial experience has happened, the next step will be how they will easily configure their site. So let's talk about that now.
Okay. So how many of you work with profiles or distributions? Okay, I see few hands. That's nice. So as you might be aware or was not work, it has a like complex structure, and you cannot apply two profiles into one site and different configurations issued. But here's come the recipe where you can use two recipes in one site. You can create a theme out of it. For example, if you want to have an event site, if you want to do that with profiles, there are like configurations which you need to set up and everything. But in profile, you can, in just one YAML file, you can give it a structure that you need a event content type. Suppose you need to have a calendar view for that. That all can be included in that single recipe, and it is very easily shareable. So we will say a demo for that. Let's go to demo. Thankfully it load. Hello, this is Abhishek from Ask, and we are talking about recipes now. This is a simple Drupal site with a leader setup, and I want to highlight that we don't have media, and media are already enabled as of now, and a different, like the default homepage set, as you always see when you set up a Drupal website. I'm highlighting this because I want to change that using recipe. I want to apply a recipe which will change those things, so that's something I want to highlight. Let's go over the code and see something what's different. So in Drupal 11, or any version which is about 10.3.0, you will find that under code there is a recipe directory and there are lots of recipes present. If you go to the example, there are the YAML file which every recipe needs, and it has like why those fields or those configurations are needed. So you can have a look on that. Then we have a standard recipe, which is the standard profile, which usually when you install a Drupal site, it has all those things. So it's been converted to a recipe, and it has, I will go one by one with the instructions, what it says. So it has a name, description, type, recipes. This is the important part where we are inheriting we have the recipes which are present in the same directory, and so it will use all those configuration, all the instructions which are present. It will install these modules which are under install. Configuration input, these are the configuration which will be needed, and we have actions. The configurations are really cool. It specifies that some of the configuration need to set to what, set permissions, lot of different things. It has lot of more capabilities. There is a different session for that, so I'm not going very depth on this. I want to show the recipe which I have created, which is this one, yeah, which is like very simple one. So yeah, name, description. It has a recipe which saying that it will use media, image media, and it will like enable media library and a media content type, media type for images. And I'm also saying that let's set the home page to example page. So if you see in the recipe directory, there is a content folder, node, and it has like title, example, and the body. So this is the YAML structure of a node which you can create with help of this module default content. And there are different ways to do this, but one of the easiest way and quickest way and the right way to do is this. So coming back to the code, this is the overall structure, and I'm going to try to apply it. In my terminal, you will see that I'm inside the web directory, and I can use drush. So drush recipe is a command which is present only in drush version 13 and above. And let's try to apply the recipe which I want to. So Drupal camp Amazon, I gave the path for it and hit enter, and it works. And if I go, I want to also do a dash clear. So if I go back to my site, I see example homepage, which is set. I have a content, which is the example homepage. I also have a media enabled and a media image, which is nice. That's something I wanted. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you. Sorry. So we saw a demo for the recipes. So that was something how you can configure a site. But let's say something which is more into UI perspective. So over to you.
Yeah, thanks Abhishek. So in the recipes we just saw like how we can package few things in a single set. But like we saw like Abhishek has to use the command line to apply the recipes, and it's not scalable. Apart from that, how many of you have tried searching for modules for solutions on Drupal.org? And how many of you were successful in finding the modules? Sometimes, yeah. So to solve that, the project browser is coming in, and its core philosophy is make it easy for site builders to find and install the modules. And that's the core philosophy of it. So we will look at a demo to quickly understand what is happening in project browser.
So now let's have a look at project browser interface. So when you install the module, we get various endpoints. The first endpoint that we get is for searching the various component modules on Drupal.org. If we scroll down, we can see a list of different modules. We can see either installed or not. By default, we also get an option to see the options to basically download the module. And we can click on a module page. It will take us to the detail page of that module, and this description is fetched from the Drupal.org page. Now, if we go back, we can see similar tab we have for recipes. In recipe section as well, we have a view commands button to basically give us the steps to enable a recipe to the site. Now, in this interface, we also get various kind of filters based on categories, various categorization using which we can filter out the results, we have sorting criteria and lots of other stuff. Apart from that, we get this configuration screen as well, where we can rearrange the plugins. We can also allow the installation via UI option. So let's enable that. Once we enable the option and come back to our screen, the interface changes here. So to use that option, we need to enable the package manager module, which comes with automatic updates initiative, which we will talk further. Now let's try to install the path auto module. So it's a queuing functionality. We can click the queue here, and then we can click the install selected project button to start the installation process. But before we do that, let's go into the code base, and here is the composer.json file for this project, and we can see the auto module is not added as a dependency here. Now let's go back to the browser, click on the install selected projects button, and we let the installation happen. Now the process is completed, and we can see the path auto module is installed. And if we go back to the code base, we can observe the entry has been added for the path auto module here. And that's how the project browser now allows the browser itself to search for the modules and installing them as well. Similar process can be used for recipes as well. In recipes tab also we get the install button, queue, and we can queue them and then install them as well.
So how cool is that? Like without any doing anything, without running any single command, you cannot download, and not just download, but install that module as well. It will change your composer.json as well. And that's not all. This interface has a built-in swipe. And now what if we have just showcased like installing from Drupal.org? You could follow a similar process for recipes as well. But what if you want to basically restrict the user to basically some custom scenarios? You want them to use a subset of modules, or maybe you are building a library of modules of your own custom modules for your own customers. You might want to restrict them to your custom plugin set. So Project Browser also provides you with that interface as well. You will need to implement a plugin, simple plugin, and you can just write the custom plugin for that. And here is a sample screenshot we have added here, where we can see like how two projects we have added example with some sample categories. A lot more customization and plugin things can be done with Project Browser now. So this all made like setting up Drupal easier, like configuring Drupal easier. But let's talk about next challenge, which is the setting up your site. So what do you wish?
Okay, right now, when you want to create a dynamic page in Drupal, the technical perspective, we are more relied on layout builders and paragraphs. And you might be aware that they are a little bit annoying and not easy to manage. So here comes Experience Builder, which is being developed with modern interface. Its front end is based React, and let's see a demo, then we can talk more.
So now let's have a look at the new Experience Builder interface. Here we get a plus button where we can see various components which are available on our site. These are SGC components. We can place them in our page, and we can see as we are hovering over them, we also get an option to see like what a component will look like. So let's try adding hero banner component, and that's how I can add hero banner. Now we can see there is a slot here. So inside this slot I can try other component. Let's try adding button. There is a button. Now let's try adding one more. So something like, let's say, 3 column component. And here we can see in 3 column we have 3 different slots. So in these slots we can drag and write cards. So like add them. And I can also duplicate a card.
Yeah.
Now, so this is very easy to use interface. And apart from that, once you have placed our components, you can also click on a component and edit them. Let's say I just want to remove this thing. And we see real-time updates like how the data will look like when the data has changed. We can also upload the media images by going to add media, and we can use the existing images, or we can upload a new file. So this is a media interface, and this gives lots of options. We can also undo our changes. So let's do undo our changes, and we can see like my card has been reverted to previous position, and we can obviously redo our changes. And currently publish and share buttons are not available, but they will be available in future. And we can also see on right hand side how our structure is being looked like. So yeah, that was a quick intro to and current progress and experience builder. Now in the backend we also have a structure page builder components page where we can see a list of all these components which are available in our site. We can here control like which components we want to be able to share in our experience builder component list. Like for example, I can disable the case study component from here, and it will no longer be available in this list when I refresh the page. Apart from that, this has also added some additional integration where we have the XP demo field type, a new field type, which is called experience builder. So this experience builder field type is a JSON field type which has been introduced into the system, and it will be storing whatever the JSON configurations will change, do the changes here. Once you click the publish button, those changes will be stored in this field setting, and from there on it will be used to render the data on the page. And this whole interface it has been built in React. So yeah, that's all on XP.
Okay, so as we saw, so the backend is like the new stuff, React, and React uses component, and for component we we are using SDC. SDC is nothing but single directory component where basically we are making a structure where every asset, every CSS, JS file or anything or metadata or components are stored in a single directory, and it also has a YAML file which is basically we are making it a way to make it talk with Drupal, and here is a sample YAML file which has props, sample properties and slots. Sample properties are nothing but like, so this component is a hero banner. So it's supposed to have a title. So the simple property is a title where you can see the example is creating a form and it has a title field in it. So that's something for the example, a short example. And yeah, of course we have components, so we might need design system or something.
So thank you, Abhishek. So in the experience builder, we just saw like how the components have been integrated. And if some of you have heard in component-driven systems, you might have observed like you don't write components in a single folder or something. You basically build a theme out of it, which are generally called as design systems, which are atoms, molecules, organisms, and that's where XB has been intended to get integrated with them. And the demo which we just showcased was integrated with one of the projects, which is demo design system running in the community right now. That has all those components, and this demo design system was built on top of Civic theme. And this is Civic theme initially had only the components having the tweaks, CSS and JS. There was no YAML file, and they had like 30 to 40 components or even more with lots of variations. And doing that all the work manually to convert that into SGC is a tedious task. So that's where Qt42 came in, and we built a tool called as Twig to SGC converter. We wrote an automation script, which basically when we execute that, it will automatically, on the basis of your Twig file, it will automatically generate a SGC YAML file. And in the SGC YAML file, once we use that script to accelerate the work of demo design system. After that, we launched a model as well, to basically make it easier for you to basically upload your whole theme structure and get it converted to SGC compatible components with XP. Then to make it more seamless, we are now writing a drush command actually, which will make it much more seamless. Like you can from your terminal itself, you can run the drush command and convert your theme to integrate with SGCs. Let's have a look at a demo. So here we have a theme and we have some components where we can see like we do not have any YAML files, and we saw that the components are not available there. So we ran the drush command. And we can see the YAML file has been generated. And once the YAML files are generated, we just need to create the drush to have those components available in XP interface. So this was a quick demo of the upcoming tool which we are developing as part of drush command, and it will be available as a contributed module. Now this module is using AI to basically support these things. So let's talk more about Drupal AI.
Just one. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So can we as you provided the components, that experience builder that will be used as a field, right? Can we reuse that components that I have added in another page and to other pages?
Yeah, I think it would be possible in future. So basically you will be able to make out the layouts, and then you can have those layouts drag and drop as well, so that you can set up your whole page and then store that as a layout, and then you can drag and drop the whole layout and then rearrange from there further on.
Thank you.
Great. So now let's talk about AI. So AI is the top of the town basically everywhere. Everyone is excited about AI, and our Drupal community is not behind. We have been doing a lot of work in making Drupal CMS and adding lots of AI features in there. So let's have a look at a demo, and then we will talk more about how that works.
Now let's have a look at some of the AI features which will come with Drupal CMS. Now here I am on article categories page where we do not have any terms added in here. So let's try to generate some terms using AI agents. So here I will add one prompt. So here we have got the response, and we can see some terms have been generated for us to use. Now let's go to the article categories page in another window, and we can see like these terms have been generated already by the AI. Now let's go to the article content type, and we can see we have a title, tags, body, hero image, and article categories field. Let's try to add a short description field here using AI. So let's go back to our AI agent, and I will add this query here. So here we have got the response, and also we can see like we also can see the steps how to add a field. Now let's put back to our content, and let's try refreshing the page to see if our field has been added. Yep, we can see our field has been added here. Now I don't want hero image to be required field, so let's try changing that to a non-required field. So now the action is completed here, and let's check the result. And we can see it like hero image is not required. Now we also get an AI assistant in the CK editor itself, which we can use to generate text. So let's generate some text. And let's hit the generate button. and we can see it is sending a request and generating a response from the AI. And it has started generating some response. Now, full response has been generated and we can save it to our editor. And that's how we can quickly generate the content as well. Now, let's try one last feature, which is like generating the view listing. So right now, we don't have any listing for, let's say, latest articles. So let's try generating a listing for that. So the response has been generated, and let's go to the new tab and check it out. And we can see we have a latest articles page generated. And we can check in the view configuration what it has done for us. So this is our view configuration which has been generated by the AI. Now we will have a look at various configurations as to how we can set this thing up.
So we just show like with the power of AI, how a simple user basically like use the simple command prompts to build out their Drupal site without doing anything, without knowing Drupal terms or Drupal terminology or Drupal concepts. Now look at the integration side of things.
So on the extend page, we can see I have enabled AI related modules, which includes AI core, AI second, AI integration, then AI automators. For the provider, I have enabled OpenAI provider, and then I'm using AI agents, which basically provides various agents to generate various kind of features like we tested out views, fields, generation of fields, and then I have enabled AI chatbot, which can basically provides this interface to interact with the AI features. And apart from that, if we go to the AI settings, we get this AI settings page where we can configure different settings. In the default settings, I have configured OpenAI module, as you can see here, for various providers. And for each provider, we can choose, for each thing, we can choose different provider and different model if we want. Similarly, this is an AI agents page where we can go and edit our agent settings. We can change by default prompts which comes in, and we can define how we want the response to be formatted and how the response should behave. Apart from that, there is lots of code as well, which has lots of features, but these features are highly experimental for now. So, and there are lots of features possible. In this demo, we have covered a very short things from.
So yeah, as you just observed, there are lots of things possible, and this is a very highly pluggable system. So any user can basically come from Drupal community and plug in with this system to add new features, like the Pick to SDC converter tool, which you just showcased. We built it on the top of this ecosystem itself, where AI module and the OpenAI layer is just one of the key parts of it. We can use the Gemini or any other AI agent tools as well. We can also set up Olama. So as AI improves, as more models comes in, better systems comes in, we can easily switch them around as well. Now this all should make very easy for a end user basically to set up their Drupal site as well and configure it as well. But what about maintainability? That is also a problem. So let's talk about it.
Hello, yeah. So as we are aware that updating a Drupal site might be like very tedious task, managing the composer and everything. So here the automatic update initiative. I will quickly jump to demo because we have very less time there.
Okay, let's talk about automatic update. This is a simple Drupal site with a simple detailed setup. Let's see which version we are right now. So currently we are on 11.0.9. We have a the latest version, which is 11.4.5. So I want to check if I have automatic update enabled. So that is not enabled, so I will totally enable it. It also has a submodule which is automatic update missions. And I will suggest you to explore that. You have more capabilities, but I'll enable that.
We are used to it.
We are used
to watching the session.
And this is the page or the color call. You can just require it. Okay. So back to our site, we see that automatic update is enabled. And let's go back to updates. You will see an update button here. You click it. Click. And now it says, okay, we are in this version and want to go to this version. So before that, I click and update. I want to show the composer file, which is saying that 11.4.1 for the requirements for Drupal code and code recommended. So let's go back, click update.
Sorry for the silence. Even in 1.25x.
So the first queue of update went, and now it's giving us a caution warning that backup your database because it will update the database. So I will click continue. The update for the database will run. Back to the site, everything is blank. The database updates got applied. Now we can see that we are the latest version of Drupal code. Going back to the code, the composer listen file, you can see that it also be updated and also the composer long-term gets updated. So that's happened because it is using a package manager, which we will talk about more after this.
Okay, there are few things which it is required. I will quickly talk about them, but I will highly suggest you go in depth in this. So one thing which I want to say is the update framework. It is a basically protocol or something where you have any application you can update with some secure way. So we have PHP Tough for PHP sites. Then we have Composer integration to Composer-based sites. And all of these are bundled into and make it talk with Drupal using package manager. So that's something. There are a lot in depth, so I won't talk much here. And we can talk about the important stuff that we need your time for contribution on this.
Yeah, so the whole community needs help here, and we have all been able to achieve this in just last 6 months, I would say. So yeah, shout out to all of us, and let's continue the great work. So you all can get involved by going to the Starshot page, seeing what all is happening there. There's the Drupal CMS code base as well, where you can see what all is happening. The contribution docs are there as well to get started with the contribution. The main areas of focus, if you are thinking like where to get involved, we have talked about lots of areas. So you can try out anything else, anything there. And if you are a known coder, go for documentation. We need lots of documentation as well. And there are work tracks as well to basically help align everyone to see like where they can contribute furthermore. Apart from that, the future aim is to basically have something in DrupalSpawn Singapore as well, much more better version, a release candidate, hopefully. Then sometime in January 2025, have a 1.0 version. The only bad thing is Experience Builder will not be part of 1.0, it will come with 2.0. But yeah, let's get excited for that as well. And yeah, we are open to questions.
I think only 2 questions, right? You don't have time, right? Any questions?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think one for the props and slots, as you told in the SDC. So props, yeah, it's clearly understandable. If you are creating any banner, for example, title and image are properties
So
of
properties.
it. But in the slots is something like, for example, I want to add CTA to it. Then I need to mention it in the slot, or like I need to mention what all are the open positions where things can be more added. So can you like explain more about slots a little bit, like?
So yeah, in the slots, basically you just need to mention, like you will have a slot, the name of the slot and a quick description of the slot. Then in your tweak, basically you will be just printing the placeholder for that slot, where whatever the configuration comes from the user, whatever drag and drop will happen in that section, that will automatically render from your tweak. So we showed you a demo of like dragging and dropping a button, but we could have drag and drop a card as well in there. And yeah, so thank you everyone for coming to the session, and thank you everyone for contributing into the initiatives as well. And you can download our slides from here. And if you have any more questions, we are around and we will be there in conclusion sprint as well. So come and talk to us. Thank you.
Thank you.